Hello, this video is about 3 must-have SEO tools if you're serious about SEO, and I'm going to show you 2 options for each kind of type of tool of these kind of 3 categories in order from least important to most important. And we're going to start with one of the main metrics. Really, the way that you judge whether or not a project is successful is based upon organic traffic. Is your site getting more organic traffic? I need to be able to check that. And a lot of people use Google Analytics, and you can use this, and that's one option. I personally don't like Google Analytics for all number of reasons. I kind of don't trust Google. But it's not just about that. I think that the tool that I use is actually much quicker and to the point to what I really want to do. I think that Google Analytics sometimes just gets over cumbersome and more complex than is really needed. At the same time, it can give you like a really deep dive and can integrate with a lot of other tools. So I use Clicky. You just clicky.com. This is an old site that I have, and I like how easy it is for me to just click on, like, okay, I want to compare April to March. Okay, well, my traffic from the search engines, 249 plus 14%. It's much faster and easier to do this in Clicky than it is in Google Analytics. Google Analytics is slower. It's just pulling a lot more data and trying to put together a lot more. I'm trying to create like super complex things that a lot of things Clicky can do that even Google Analytics can't do as well. They have other types of features on here that are beyond what Google Analytics has, but Google Analytics has some things that Clicky can't do as well. I'm just a big fan of Clicky, especially if you have a lot of different sites and you don't want Google to tie them all to like you, which is me. I have a bunch of clients, and I don't want and my own sites as well, and I don't want them leaving some sort of footprint. But it's not just that. It's also that I think that the feature set and really the user experience for Clicky is much more effective. But you could also like look at individual visitors on here and like who's on your site right now. They have like heat maps and stuff like that Google Analytics does not have. So that's number 3. Number 2 is going to be rank tracking. So the two objective metrics when you're trying to judge an SEO project is going to be is organic traffic increasing, and if yes, then that's good. Are your organic rankings increasing? And if no, that's bad. And actually, I'm going to give 2 different tools. I use both of these for very different purposes. So I use ProRank Tracker for my own website, my own websites, my own projects, and I export it automatically to it sends an email to me every day with a CSV file that I save. I really don't recommend. I wish I could get more credits and use it less often, because checking your rankings every day is absolutely absurd. You don't need to check it, and it's actually counterproductive and very wasteful to check it every day, even every week, even on a monthly basis. That's how often I check it. There can be a lot of noise and randomness. Really, what you're looking at is like 3 to 6 month long-term periods. Are things going up significantly? That's going to be much more meaningful than even like month to month. And so, the ProRank Tracker is what I use. It's the best one that I've found. It's not perfect, and it's much more expensive than I would like, but I'm tracking thousands of keywords. So, and then when it comes to tracking Google Maps, that's really difficult. There's a lot of tools out there that claim to do it, but there's no real way to do it with 100% accuracy, because you can have 2 different devices in the same location and get different results. Okay, so and it is results. The results are tailored also to where the device is being searched from. And so on different parts of a city, you can get very different results on the maps. At the same time, the ProRank Tracker does have a maps tracking. I trust it about as much as I trust any other maps tracker, which is that I don't completely trust it. It's not completely inaccurate, but it's just not going to be the same. If you say, so you might be in the maps pack in one place under some conditions and not in the maps pack under other conditions, and it's very hard to kind of capture that. There are some tools that do a good job of that, but that's not really. I don't really, even though I do a lot of maps SEO, it's not something I track super closely. And if you're looking to do rank tracking for someone else, like you want to see what your competitors are ranking for, then I would use SEMrush or semrush.com. And actually, what I did was I searched up car accident lawyer Fort Worth, and this guy was ranking number 1 in the regular organic. So what we can do is we can go organic research, and we can see what keywords he's ranking for. And this is useful for a kind of like, you know, how much money, the value of the traffic. This is based upon like the pay-per-click value. This tends to be a poor estimate in my, I mean, a very low estimate in my estimation. But it still gives us kind of a baseline for understanding. And then we could also go to all of their organic positions, and sometimes there's going to be some ideas of things that someone's ranking for that you're like, oh, maybe I can actually rank for that. And again, this is not perfectly accurate, and it's only going to find, it only checks like once a month-ish, and it's not going to find, it's not going to account for like low volume search phrases. So typically I find that this is actually a very low estimate. But they're taking essentially the traffic and they're multiplying it by, like, if someone were to bid on the cost per click, and this is incredibly high cost per click. You can see if you were to bid in Google, the expected cost per click for these are like $100 to $200, which is $283. Wow. I mean, but this is going to be one of the most expensive keywords. You know, city plus car accident lawyer is going to be one of the most competitive search phrases from every single standpoint. And so, you know, that's to be expected, but maybe you can find some other ones in here that they're ranking for that you weren't expecting. Maybe, you know, fatal motorcycle accident, Fort Worth. Oh, okay. Maybe that's something that you might want to rank for. Probably not, but because it doesn't have a lawyer in it, but that's outside the scope of this video. Okay, so the final set of tools that you're going to need that are a little bit less obvious are going to be link tracking tools or link metrics tools, or, you know, just basically you need to be able to look at the links of your own site along with the links of other people's sites. And I prefer Ahrefs. I think it's the best tool out there, and they've really worked hard at expanding it to really encompass almost everything that their competitors, even some kind of tertiary competitors like SEMrush, they now have organic rankings. So I actually have not integrated this into my into my systems, my processes yet. But my understanding is that it wasn't good at first, and that they've improved it significantly. So Fort Worth personal injury lawyer, I think is what exactly did I search? Car accident lawyer, Fort Worth, Texas. So let's see if I take away the Texas, if it's still number 5. See it? They're number 2, and they're showing number 5 here. So that's position. Here we go, number 1. I was looking at, I don't know what this is right here. Oh, SERP features. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. So you could actually replace SEMrush potentially with this. Now, one of the things that is really good about Ahrefs, and I shot another video about this, is that they're probably the best tool at finding all of the links that are happening. And they also track it like on a daily basis. Now, like any tool, it's not going to be perfect, and there's never going to be a tool that has all the data. But this is probably the best tool. They have a really super fast crawler when compared to other other link tracking tools. Some link tracking tools take months to find links, and this one gets them very quickly. I think Moz used to be really good, but their crawler was just so slow that they would just like miss links. They just weren't very good. I think they've improved it, but Ahrefs is still the best in my opinion. You could also use Majestic. Majestic is kind of looks at this from a different angle. They tend to not get as many links, but they have this useful trust flow versus citation flow, which typically this would be really bad. 6 versus 28. You want this to be at least half, and really I like it to be 75% to 100% of the citation flow. But you can still get the referring domains from here. Let's go over here. This shows 72, probably because they lost some. This shows more. I'd have to look deeper into why this happens, but typically Ahrefs will have more, or maybe they're showing ones that Ahrefs has already removed because they're gone. You can use either one. Personally, I think I use Ahrefs more often, but this trust flow metric is actually quite useful. So these are the 3 tools. This is the number 1 tool, really. If I were to pick any one single tool that I had to have, it would actually be Ahrefs. And it's just because it does so much. Technically, I guess you could do your own. You could do rank tracking from this, and you could track your links. You could look at your competitors' links. Most of the time, what I'm doing with this is using it to analyze my competitors' links and try to find links for myself, or try to see kind of what's the landscape for specific search phrases. And this is going to give me, I think, the best picture. Also, a lot of times what you can see here is like somebody will be coming along and there'll be a sudden spike in links, and you can say, okay, well, this is when some activity happened, and that's actually quite often useful in understanding kind of the history of a website, and therefore understanding what to do going forward. So thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please like this video. If you have a tool that you really like, please leave a comment below, and I'm happy to check it out, or even review it. And have a great day. Bye.